Imagine walking into a store next year to buy a new phone and realizing it costs far more than you expected. Cars become more expensive, laptops suddenly get costlier, even the electric vehicles start seeing the price jumps. Most people assume it's because of inflation, oil shortages, or chip shortages. But what if the real reason is something almost nobody is talking about? A simple yellow chemical called sulfur. And the truth is, this small element quietly sits at the center of the global electronic supply chain. Right now, the world is watching wars, energy disruptions, and global supply chain tensions. Headlines are filled with discussions about oil price, LNG shipments, and semiconductor shortages. But hidden behind all these conversations is a supply chain link that rarely gets attention. Because when oil and natural gas are refined, something important is produced as byproduct. That byproduct is sulfur. And this sulfur is used to produce one of the most important industrial chemicals in the world, the sulfuric acid. Without sulfuric acid, modern industrial manufacturing would struggle to function. Sulfuric acid is the backbone of metal processing across the planet. It is used to extract and refine the critical metals like copper, nickel, and cobalt. And these metals are everywhere in our modern world. Copper powers the electrical grids, transformers, and electronics. Nickel and cobalt are essential for the electric vehicle batteries and advanced energy storage systems. These metals also appear in smartphones, laptops, renewable energy infrastructure, and modern electronics manufacturing. So, when sulfur production changes because of the shifts in oil refining or energy markets, it quietly influences the entire technology supply chain. But that is only the first layer of the story. The second layer sits thousands of kilometers away in one small island economy that became the most important choke point in the technology industry, Taiwan. Today, Taiwan manufactures more than 70% of world's advanced semiconductor chips. These chips power smartphones, laptops, AI servers, electric vehicles, medical equipment, satellites, and even the military technology. Companies like TSMC have become the backbone of global semiconductor ecosystem. But producing these tiny silicon chips requires something extremely critical: massive and stable electricity supply. Semiconductor fabrication plants run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The machines inside these factories operate with extreme precision, and even small disruption can affect the production. Taiwan generates a large share of its electricity using liquefied natural gas, also known as LNG. Much of this LNG is imported through global shipping routes from countries like Qatar, Australia, and United States. And this is where the geopolitics and the energy markets suddenly become deeply connected to the electronics sitting in your pocket. If energy supply chains face disruptions or if shipping routes become unstable during the global tension, Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing would face pressure. And when the semiconductor production slows down, the ripple effects spread quickly across the global economy. Car manufacturers struggle to get the chips, electronic companies delay new devices, technology production slows, and prices begin to rise. Suddenly, the phone in your hand, the laptop on your desk, and the electric car on the road all become part of a fragile global system most people never see. This is something the economists call the second order effects. Most people notice the first effect of the crisis. For example, oil prices rise, but the deeper impact comes from the chain reaction that follows. Oil refining changes, which affects the sulfur production. Sulfur production influences the sulfuric acid supply. Sulfuric acid affects the metal refining. Metal prices influence the electronics manufacturing. And electronics manufacturing ultimately affects the price of the technology we use every day. One small change in hidden part of the system can ripple across the industries around the world. The modern world runs on invisible networks. Energy infrastructure, chemical supply chains, semiconductor factories, shipping routes, and global trade systems all connected together like a giant web. Most of the time, we never notice these connections because they work quietly in the background. But when geopolitical tensions rise, supply chains tighten, those invisible systems suddenly become visible. And that is when we realize how many everyday technologies depend on things we rarely think about. So the next time you hold a smartphone, open your laptop and see an electric vehicle driving past you, remember that behind these technologies is an entire hidden network of chemicals, metals, energy systems, and global supply chains. And sometimes the biggest global stories are not ones dominating the headlines, but the ones quietly shaping the world behind the scenes. If you enjoy understanding the hidden systems shaping our world, please subscribe.